When you finally start doing this one thing, it changes everything about it. Alright, let me take a guess. So you have probably watched your favorite content creators, whichever one's your favorite, since you were a child, maybe up until now, and you still watch them, and they continue to inspire you with all the builds they do, all the SMPs they're in, all the creative things they're able to do in a Minecraft world, even if that world hasn't lasted for very long, or it's not continuously lasting. You want to do it for yourself. How do you do that? How do you actually be creative and be inspired in this game to just keep going, especially when it may just be you in the world? The first thing I would say is to actually add story to your world, and this especially for those of you in the creative space who love writing. When you add a story to your world, it doesn't have to be super complex. It can be something as simple as simply adding, let's say you go to a structure, you discover like an ocean monument when you were sailing over the water or something. You can add or just document that, alright, I found this ocean monument when I was, I don't know, looking for new land or something. Or you found a ruined nether portal, for example. You say, alright, I was looking for jungle wood and I found a ruined nether portal. And you write it in a book in the game. And after like documenting like all these things that you keep finding, it inspires you because now you remember, alright, I found that place, I could design something there, or I can actually like create this and turn it into something different. It's really unfortunate that I deleted a world because I would have been able to show like actual footage of what I did, but this is the world I have, so I'll just have to go off of that. The next one you could do, which also plays into that, is to pick an unusual place to settle down. So it's very typical for players to pick a place that they enjoy. Maybe say you love the spruce biome or the mega taiga and you want to settle there. That's fine and good, and then maybe you've been settling there like over and over in the same place. Maybe you started many worlds and you had to just find that mega taiga. Pick something different, like a savanna, for example, or something even more unusual, which is something that I did. I decided to live in the ancient city in the deep dark, and I even created a story out of it. It was amazing. It was the world I had before. I deleted it. I'm really annoyed that I did, but oh well. Pick something unusual, like living underwater, for example. It's very possible to do that. Live in an unusual place, because that will change the way you see things. It will change your perspective, and now you're able to see things like, oh, I can actually do this that I've never tried before, because you're in a different space, you're in a new space. Another thing that could be holding you back, or maybe preventing you from finding that motivation, and you get tired, you quit the world, or you delete the world altogether, is to switch up a theme. So let's say in a specific era you've been building in a medieval style of building, or you've been building in a medieval kind of theme. Maybe in a different or separate area you can decide to build with more of a very like tree house, like a jungle, for example. You can decide to build like tree houses instead, more like a tribal kind of theme, with like just like tree houses or huts around the place. And let's say maybe far off in, maybe closer towards the end, or maybe if you're in the end dimension, you could build like something more space-like, for example. Just picking different themes for different parts of your world would give that fresh feeling, that fresh perspective, because now you're not trying to fit a medieval style into something that could have been like a space style, like the end, for example. This doesn't mean that it is wrong to stick to one style and get really good at it, but if you feel that that one style is really tiring, switch it up, try something different. It can really help. Another thing that you could do is to actually take inspiration from the real world. And what I mean is, perhaps where you live, you have maybe a bridge between like two parts of the city or something like that. You could say, alright, so now that the city has like a bridge, like a main bridge in between, in my world, is there like two lands I usually go between? Alright, maybe I could build a huge bridge there or something. Or you could say, okay, so this part of the world is really cool, it's really fantastic, but it feels very like dead and dry. You notice that your hometown, or remember that your hometown or where you're living at right now has a lake. You could decide to add a lake or even a small pond. It doesn't have to always be something huge. It can just be something like a small pond you add into your world. Can really help. The point of all of this is not to say that you should do all of these things at once and you'd stay motivated, you'd stay inspired. It's to pick one that you really, really resonate with. For someone like me, I recently discovered, and I don't like talking about myself, but I discovered that I love storytelling and world building and all of that, and I don't always do it every time, but it's where I get a lot of creativity and inspiration to create things. For you, it could be something as simple as challenging yourself to live in a different place, or it can be something as interesting as trying to build in different themes and pushing your limits on what you can do in the game. So it's really up to you. It's not to pick all of them and try to do all of them, but to pick the one part in creativity, whether that's creating music for your worlds or inspired music for your world. I know some creators who are doing that. It can be something that's storytelling. It can be something like trying something completely new and different in the game that you've never done before. It's all up to you. So yeah, that's just some tips on that, and I really, really hope that that helps you stay inspired. I'm definitely going to go more in depth into all of these things later on with the videos coming out, but do let me know your own problems. If you, maybe it's not necessarily related to you can't tell stories or something, but if you have some specific problem that you have within the game and that you want it to be addressed, let me know in the comments. I'll happily address them, and hopefully we can come up with solutions to help you. So yeah, with all that being said, take care. I'll see you around.